Hey everybody, Dr. Ed Gigliotti here. I had a thought that I wanted to share with you guys. So my son, he's almost 6 years old, and he's like a chess prodigy. It's pretty pathetic because at this point, I do not want to play him. He beats me most of the time. About a week and a half ago, I was like, all right, buddy, yeah, set it up. And it was about 5 moves in, and he goes, "Pa, you're in checkmate." And I was completely humbled, but in the same respect, so proud of him. Like, it's an amazing thing to see such a young guy and his brain work the way it does. And he plays at the Rochester Chess Center, and they're like super impressed with how he's progressed. There's not really any other 5-year-olds that play at his level, almost 6. So he's a lot of times playing with like 8 to 12-year-olds. And I was thinking about it, and it's not that he's like some kind of savant genius. He's a smart boy. But the reason why he's so talented at chess is because it's time and repetition. The kid's played like hundreds of games. In the house, it's a running joke. It's pretty funny because nobody wants to play him in the house anymore, right? So he'll play himself. He sets up both sides of the board, and we'll go to one side to the other, one side to the other. Every single time he is playing himself in chess, or he's playing in chess, what he's doing is he's rebuilding neurological circuits in his brain. So that's why someone like me, it takes me 30 seconds to make a move, and he's just like right away, like moving it. Because the neurological circuits are getting more ingrained, and they're developing like it does in any aspect of education with our children. The amazing thing is that same premise, how neurology restructures, regenerates, and heals, and all the rest, works with our body too, on how our body heals and functions day to day. So let me full circle this to chiropractic. That's why it's so important to get checked by a chiropractor, and specifically we're upper cervical chiropractors, is because just look at the neurology. You have the whole brain. Okay, this would be the front of someone's skull, the atlas, C2 and C3. And this would be in Goliath, okay? Ours are a lot smaller, but this is for visual purposes, right? And what happens is you have the whole brain funneling through the top 2 bones in the neck, okay? They go through the top 2 bones in the neck. The brainstem goes right to the C2. So what happens is that when there's any injury that's sustained throughout life, where these vertebrae torque out of position, right? What happens is that it puts sustained pressure on that brainstem and that spinal cord. When that happens, you get neuroplasticity, or you get nerves compensating in a way you don't want. It's the opposite of regeneration in a healthy way, like with my son, where he's like learning chess and just rocking it, right? So that's why it's so important to get your nerve system assessed, because what's your central nerve system control? It literally controls everything. Every cell, tissue, organ, every physiological function that's happening within you that we take for granted, that all of us take for granted every day, is literally housed in this central nerve system, and more specifically has to pass through that brainstem right there. So if there was a vertebra that was torqued out of position and it was stuck in that malposition for years to decades, right, putting pressure on that brainstem and that spinal cord, or torsion, how would that affect the trajectory of someone's life and health? When you're talking about how those nerves are compensating, and are they redeveloping and getting more complex and functioning better? Or if there was consistent pressure, would it decrease communication from brain to body, and then also create nerve atrophy, where you would actually get nerves breaking down or diminishing because of the pressure on it, that they're not able to function the way they should? You see? So the same aspects we do with training for sports, for education purposes, and all the rest. I would strongly suggest adopt those same principles for your health when it comes to like exercising, eating healthy, and then especially keeping that pressure off that brainstem and that spinal cord, so you can not only feel better today, but you could literally transform the whole trajectory of your future for you and the ones you love, because with that pressure off, that body's able to regenerate, structure, and do what it needs to do so it can adapt at the highest level. Love and appreciate you guys. If this resonates with you, share the message.